Welcome to the Fredericksburg Center for Creative Arts, FCCA, Frederick Gallery, with our June 2024 Artist Choice exhibition. I'm Carol Morgan, the curator of the Frederick Gallery. The FCCA is open Monday, Thursday, and Friday, noon to 4, Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4, and Sunday, 1 to 4. We are closed Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're open for extended hours on First Friday from noon to 8:30. And on First Friday, we'll be announcing awards for the exhibition at 6:30 p.m. Please come out, bring your friends, and enjoy an evening with reception and music. Thanks to David Kennedy for videotaping our juror awards and talks for our FCCA YouTube page. During June, the FCCA Members Gallery presents a duo exhibit by Connie Canby and Janice Jones. You're invited to visit our exhibitions in person to enjoy the original art in our historic home, the Silversmith House, circa 1785, where art and history meet, located at 813 Sophia Street in historic downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia. It is my pleasure to introduce the juror of the June Artist Choice exhibition. Chris Gregson studied at the New York Studio and Forum of Stage Design under Lester Polikoff. In 1995, Gregson began creating abstract paintings and exhibiting them throughout the United States and internationally in Italy and France. He has been a guest speaker at Virginia Commonwealth University, Southeastern College Arts Conference, Virginia Association of Museums, and at universities across the Commonwealth of Virginia. In 2005, he founded the artist collective known as Constructs, a group primarily consisting of abstract painters associated with various colleges and universities in the region. His paintings are represented in corporate collections and in the permanent collections at the American Embassy in Guinea, Africa, Longwood University in Farmville, the Taubman Museum in Roanoke, and in prestigious private collections. In the winters of 2023-24, he was a resident at the Cité Internationale des Arts in Paris. Upcoming exhibits include Art First in Richmond and the Fred Schneider Gallery in Arlington, Virginia. It's a pleasure for you to meet a returning juror, Chris Gregson.
Hi, I'm excited about this show. It's an Artist Choice show, which is exciting for me as an artist because I'm looking at all the different pieces through my eyes and what I appreciate in a piece of work. And there's three elements that I really focus on. One is composition, one is technique, and the other one is the subject. So when I looked at the art that I chose in the show, it was based on that criteria. So we're going to start off with the honorable mentions. And the first honorable mention, the only person who is not from Fredericksburg, but from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, is Abby McFarland's work called Cupid Chasing. And I found this had a beautiful composition. It's a very dynamic composition. The subject is sort of mysterious. There's the arrows which she's pulling from the back of her back, literally, and there's masks flowing in and out. It's very dynamic. It's a very exciting, lovingly composed pieces. The technique is beautifully executed with underlaying paints and then outlines. So I chose this as one of the 5 honorable mentions. The second honorable mention that I picked is called Bloom Anyway. And this is acrylic on wood by Allison Sullivan, and she's from Fredericksburg, Virginia. And once again, I found the composition very balanced. The technique was intriguing because of the overlays. It's an acrylic. It's very hard to use. And this acrylic actually almost looks like oil. She's accented it with some ink to pull out the interior of the flowers. It's very brushy. And one of the most exciting things about this painting is the support, which is an old piece of found wood, and I just think it gives it a whole dynamicism, if that's a word, dynamic feeling to it because of the way it's not perfectly square. It's sort of broken off at the edges, and it gives it this object-like quality. So that's a reason I selected this one as an honorable mention. Another honorable mention is a visitor from Great Grandma. It's a lino cut by Linda La Rochelle, and I just thought it had a beautiful composition. And it's very centered and balanced, and there's a lot of depth in the image itself. The technique, the lino cut process is very complicated, and she just did a beautiful execution of color relationships and pattern. And the last thing is the subject, which is a very sort of nostalgic image of self-portrait, I believe, with her granddaughter. And so this received an honorable mention. Okay, this is yet another honorable mention. This is Succulents by Peter Morelowitz, and he's also from Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's the only piece that I chose that you can't see the artist's hand, but this image just jumped out at me as just an incredible image. And it's, like I said, the composition is just dynamic. There are so many things going on in this. It's so many different patterns going on, and it just was really intriguing. The composition and the technique, this digital printing technique is very, very complicated. It's probably all computer generated, and look at the way the colors are variated, and it's just a wonderful piece. And then it's a simple image of succulent plants, but I bet you've never seen succulents look exactly like this. They have sort of a magical experience. So I thought, what a great way to take a mundane subject and make it dynamic. So this is yet another honorable mention. All right, the last honorable mention is As Far as the Eye Can See, and it's an acrylic painting by Ellen Wensler. She's from Spotsylvania County, Virginia. And I really like the composition here. It's very horizontal, so you have to gaze across it as opposed to looking up and down or looking at it as through a window. The technique is just beautifully, meticulously done. It's acrylic, and it has this wonderful little pattern going on with the acrylic paint, and then there's this black ink line, maybe it's actually paint. But the light reflects off this image, and you can see all sorts of depth. So it's not only the quality of the image, but it's the quality of the paint itself that draws you in and excites you. And the subject is just a beautiful image of a very relaxing image sitting on a beach, probably, with the lighthouse in the distance. And notice the waves are very soft. It's a very calming visual experience. So I gave this the last honorable mention. Okay, so now we're to the top award winners, and the third place goes to Walking the Dog. It's an oil painting by Jenny Holbert. And I like this image a lot. Of all the paintings and drawings and photographs, there was just so much in this show. And it's always very difficult to make a decision on the top three. But there's certain images that have an excellence about them that you really want to share with other people. And this is one of those images. It's a very vertical piece, And the composition is very vertical. She's edited out a lot of information, so you only see certain things. And the technique is very beautifully done. Compared to a lot of the graphic stuff that I've been showing you, this is very loosely painted. Decisions had to be made pretty quickly, and that I admired in this. It's also, the subject is walking the dog, but you don't see the dog and you don't see the walker. You see the shadows. And it breaks up the space in an abstract way that I really thought was engaging. So this is the one, this image is something I really enjoyed. So I gave this a third place award. So our second place goes to Margarita. It's an oil painting, and it's by Carolyn Patton from Fredericksburg, Virginia. And I was just drawn to this one, but just because it's so action-filled, and the execution was just beautifully, beautifully done. It's this composition, very close-up image of two people, a lot of energy. You feel the energy, you feel the joy. The painting is just quickly and beautifully done. It's not realistic, but it's executed with a lot of fun colors. It's called Margarita. I assume that that's what she might be drinking, or I don't know. And it looks like maybe they're just riding bikes. They're probably at a bar. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I can see a lot of joy in this. It's a traditional oil on canvas, but I just thought it was just well done. The figures were well done. The shadings well done. And there's a lot of decision making in this that is unique to this painting. It's not copying reality. It's just using reality and then executing something that one wants to really just stare at, just because the colors bring a lot of joy and experience into the work. And the first place winner goes to Grateful Company, and it's by Z. Berrios from Fredericksburg. And when I did the initial juring, the images were, 98% of the images were from photographs. And this one, when I saw it, I said, this is just outstanding. And it remained in my head all the way through my second viewing of all the work here as being the piece that most affected me because of various reasons. First of all, once again, as I said, the composition is just so complicated. There's a number of different people here. It looks like, it's called Grateful Company, and I know I can see some of the Dead here, Grateful Dead from the band, but I think that may be Janis Joplin, and I'm not sure who the other character is. That's Gary Garcia, but that's one thing. I mean, the subject matter is one thing, and the collection of these people is another thing, and it all comes together. It's a beautiful portraiture. The technique is just outstanding in the painting here. There's a lot going on. You can come up to it very closely and just admire the paint, but you can go back and admire the whole composition of all the painting together and all the different characters. It's a large painting, which is another reason why I chose it. It's always good to see large pieces of work. And like the way he did these noses and the eyes and the shadow, and once again, the patterning, as you can see all the different pieces that I've showed you in the show, there's all these elements that go into making a piece of work. And I think that out of all the 8 pieces that I chose, this one is the best. So congratulations. I think it's a wonderful piece.
I want to thank Chris Gregson for a wonderful job in selecting this show and the terrific job he did, difficult as it is, to select awards from a wonderful display of artwork. I really would invite all of you to come in person. So much of this work deserves your individual in-person attention. If you can't get to our gallery, we're on our website at fccagallery.org. This video will be followed by a walkthrough that will show all the work in the exhibition. And thank you for joining us. Thank you again, Chris. Job well done. Thank you.
the Fredericksburg Center for the Creative Arts, where art and history meet.